Most people think the biggest money mistake in your 20s is not earning enough, but that is not the real problem. The real problem is building a life that gets more expensive every time your income goes up. Because two people can start at 22 with the same paycheck, the same job, the same city, and the same chance. But by 40, one person has options. The other person still needs the next paycheck just to stay alive financially. And the scary part is this: the second person may not look broke while it is happening. They may have the nicer apartment, the newer car, the better dinners, the better Instagram photos. But behind the scenes, one person is building assets and the other person is building payments. That is where the split begins. Imagine two 22-year-olds. Both earn their first real paycheck. Both take home around $1,800 after taxes. Path 1 is the builder. He does something that feels almost too small to matter. He opens a Roth IRA. He puts in $200. Then he sets up an automatic transfer for $200 every month. It does not feel powerful. It does not feel life-changing. It feels boring. But that's the point, because the money leaves before he can spend it. He also starts building a small emergency fund, not because it's exciting, but because one car repair, one medical bill, or one missed paycheck can destroy a budget that has no cushion. Now look at path 2, the spender. Earns the same paycheck, but he chooses comfort first. A nicer apartment, a better car, restaurants a few nights a week, small credit card balances that don't feel dangerous yet, a concert ticket here, a weekend trip there, a new phone plan, a few subscriptions. Nothing looks crazy. That's what makes it dangerous. Most people do not destroy their finances with one huge mistake. They do it with normal choices that quietly become permanent bills. And after 1 year, the difference doesn't look massive. The builder may have a few $1,000s invested and saved. The spender may have a little debt and almost no savings. But the real difference is the system. One system sends money toward assets. The other system sends money toward payments. And systems compound, both kinds. At 23 or 24, both people get a raise. This is where the gap starts to widen. The spender feels like he finally has room, so the apartment gets better. The car payment gets easier to justify. Eating out feels more normal. The credit card gets used more often because the income is higher now. And that sentence is where many people get trapped. My income is higher now. So they treat the raise like permission to spend more. But the builder handles the same raise differently. He doesn't upgrade everything at once. He raises his investing first. Maybe the $200 a month becomes $300. Maybe he starts putting money into his 401k, especially if his employer offers a match. And this is important. Before you search for the perfect ETF, before you try to beat the market, before you chase the next hot stock, do not ignore free money from an employer match. If your company says put in this much and we will add money too, that is part of your compensation. Missing it is like leaving part of your paycheck behind. The builder also learns about low-cost index funds and ETFs. He is not trying to look smart. He is not trying to predict tomorrow. He is simply buying a piece of many companies, keeping costs low, and letting time do the heavy lifting. This is where the spender looks better from the outside. He has the nicer lifestyle, but the builder is the one becoming stronger. Because wealth does not always look exciting in the beginning. Sometimes wealth looks like an old car that still runs, a simple apartment, a boring ETF, a spreadsheet, and a transfer you forgot was even happening. Now let's talk about the part most people avoid: debt. Debt is not just money you owe. Debt is future income that already belongs to someone else. A car payment means next month's paycheck is already partly gone. A credit card balance means next month's paycheck is already partly gone. Buy now, pay later means next month's paycheck is already partly gone. And when enough of your future paychecks are already promised, you stop feeling free. You may still earn decent money, but the money arrives tired. It has too many jobs before you even touch it. Rent, car, insurance, cards, subscriptions, minimum payments. And then people wonder why they cannot invest.
The answer is not always low income. Sometimes the answer is that their paycheck has been sliced into pieces before it arrives. This is why high-interest debt is so dangerous. If a simple long-term investing example uses 7% growth, that is already powerful over decades. But credit cards can charge over 20%. That means debt can compound against you faster than your investments may compound for you. It's like trying to fill a bucket while there's a hole in the bottom. The builder protects against this with margin, an emergency fund, lower fixed costs, no high-interest debt, automatic investing. He doesn't need to be perfect.
He just needs a system to survive bad months, because bad months are coming, and they come for everyone. At 30, the difference becomes harder to ignore. The builder may not be rich yet, but he has assets, a growing retirement account, a Roth IRA, maybe a taxable brokerage account, a cash cushion. Most important, he has habits that make wealth easier to build. When he gets a raise, he already knows what to do. Part of it goes to investing. Part of it goes to savings. The rest can improve his life. But the spender reaches 30 with a different kind of system. He may still have a good job, he may still look successful, but he also has credit card balances, a car payment, weak savings, maybe an old 401k he barely contributes to. And the worst part is not the debt. The worst part is that the debt feels normal now. That is how people get stuck. They stop treating debt like an emergency because it has been there for years. They don't check their net worth because they already know it will feel bad. They tell themselves they will start next month, but next month has the same payments. This is the part nobody likes to hear. Your 20s do not punish you immediately. They train you quietly. They train your spending. They train your standards. They train your reaction to raises. They train whether you run toward investing or avoid looking at your bank account. And by 30, you aren't just dealing with money, you're dealing with a pattern. But here's the good news. A pattern can be changed. The builder is not wealthy because he's a genius. He's wealthy because his first moves were repeatable. He kept fixed costs controlled. He built an emergency fund. He used the employer match. He used simple, low-cost ETFs or index funds. He avoided high-interest debt. He increased investing when income rose. And he did not let every raise become a lifestyle upgrade. That is the whole game. Not easy, but simple. And the biggest move is this. Make investing automatic before your lifestyle gets a vote. Because if money sits in your checking account, it starts looking available. And when it looks available, life finds a way to spend it. A dinner, a trip, a sale, a new payment, a small upgrade. None of it feels dangerous alone, but together they build a spending system. So the builder reverses the order. He does not save what is left after spending, he spends what is left after saving and investing. That one shift changes the future. Now let's jump to 40. At 40, the builder's life is not perfect. He still works, he still has bills, the market still drops sometimes, unexpected costs still happen. But he has margin, and margin changes how life feels. If his car breaks, it is annoying. It is not a crisis. If rent rises, he has options. If his job becomes toxic, he can make a move. If family needs help, he may be able to help without destroying himself. That is what wealth really buys, not just stuff, options. The spender at 40 may not be ruined. That's important. This is not about shame. He may work hard, pay his bills, take care of people, try his best. But the floor is thin. A medical bill hurts more. A layoff hits harder. A rent increase creates panic. A credit card balance that should have been temporary becomes part of the monthly budget. And the hardest part is emotional. Because he knows he earns money, he knows he works, but he cannot understand why there is never enough left. The answer is the system. One system created assets. The other created obligations. One system gave money a job before the weekend. The other waited to see what was left, and usually nothing was left. So if you're in your 20s, the message is not to live like a robot. It is not to never enjoy your life. It is not to say no to every dinner, every trip, or every nice thing. The message is to build the machine first. Because if you build the machine early, you can enjoy life without destroying your future.
Start with the boring moves. Save a small emergency fund. Avoid high-interest debt. Get the employer match if you have one. Open a Roth IRA if you qualify. Invest in simple, low-cost ETFs or index funds. Increase your investing when your income rises. And before you upgrade your lifestyle, ask one question. Will this make my life better, or will it only make my payments bigger? That one question can save you years. Your 20s don't decide your whole life, but they often decide your default direction. And direction matters more than speed in the beginning, because money habits compound, debt compounds, lifestyle compounds, investing compounds, avoidance compounds, confidence compounds. Both people started with the same paycheck, but one built a wealth machine, the other built a spending machine. And by 40, the difference was not just money, it was peace, it was choices, it was breathing room. This video is for education only, not personal financial advice. Everyone's income, risks, and life situation are different. But the principle is simple. You do not need to become rich in your 20s. You need to stop building a life that makes wealth impossible later. So here's the question. If you could restart one money habit from your 20s, what would you change first? Car payments, rent, credit cards, or investing? Comment your answer below. And if you want the next step, watch the next video where we break down a simple beginner ETF system someone can start with their first $100, $500, or $1,000.